Hello there, guys. We have another round of 16 game on our hands today. It is Team Singularity versus the Prodigies here. Obviously, you know, there's no second chances. This isn't the regular season. You don't really have a game in hand. You can't really lose a situation now. This is all to play for, and it's going to be an absolutely amazing night of CS. But what are you thinking about this one, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, we sort of came into this one, Fred, being told not too long ago that there's a good chance this game might not go ahead. There's a few travel issues. Luckily, all the Singularity guys are back in, and they're all back involved, because that could have been a bit of a disappointing first game for both of these teams. But luckily, everyone's in the server, everyone's here to play. It does make me a bit interested, though. Maybe some players on Singularity didn't really have time to warm up too much, but we know still a very talented lineup either way. Obviously, Prodigies in the regular season certainly had a better finish than Singularity, but at the end of the day, like you said, this is playoffs now. There's no second chances. It's all or nothing. It's a completely different beast. And it's going to be the full best of threes now, so it's going to be exciting to see which one of these teams is going to advance.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the game that Flam just casted is a true kind of testament to that. It doesn't matter how well you did in the regular season. ARCRED, they've been eliminated, Charlie. Conquer was able to best them in a 2-0 fashion. It was a long series. Obviously, the second game went to overtime. Many overtimes, I believe. It went to third overtime. But it was an absolutely amazing game. And it just goes to show, regardless of where you finish in the regular season, playoffs is completely different. But I'll give you a little bit of a run through of the maps here. Singularity, they're liking the new map, Anubis. They want to get it in straight away in their playoffs run. So that will be the first map we do get to see. The Prodigies, they're feeling comfortable in one of the CS classics, obviously being Inferno, and the third and final map being Vertigo. So I think we've got a nice set of maps on our hands, and I can't wait to see this one play out. But Charlie, that age-old question, you've got to pick a team in this situation. Who are you going for?
Yeah, this is actually going to be quite a tricky one, just in terms of the map pools alone. You obviously mentioned Anubis and Inferno being the first two that we're going to get to witness. There's a real risk for Singularity picking Anubis. Yes, they played it more than the Prodigies have in the regular season. Their record isn't superb on it. It is 66% win rate, 66.6, which is still obviously... Actually, no, they've won 3. Yeah, sorry, it's 75% win rate, actually. So they do look pretty good on it, but so do the Prodigies. They've also played it a couple of times this season, won every single time they played it, Fred. Yeah, some of them they won very dominantly, so that's surely a little bit scarier map pick.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it seems as though maybe we just forget about Vertigo. I think whoever wins the first map wins the game. I think it's going to be very tough for not only, you know, if Singularity take their own map pick, yes, that's successful. They're going to be G'd on through that first game. And Inferno, a CS classic, known, played by all, maybe the confidence will come through. So I feel like this first map holds a lot of importance. Obviously, both of the teams, they can win their own respective map picks. They can win their opponent's map picks. We could be going to Vertigo. But I believe we are heading straight into the action now, Charlie. So any kind of final remarks before we head into the pistol?
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a really electric series. I think we've got so many games like this going to be coming up, but this one, Fred, this could be another upset after that ARCRED defeat that we saw.
Yeah, definitely, and I'll be honest with you, I'd love to see it. I love a good upset. Not only does it show that the level of CS really can just kind of hit a new peak in the Challenger division, but it really sets the tone of how the playoffs is going to be, and already we've seen it. We've seen an upset, potentially the biggest we will see here in the SCL.
I mean, it certainly does have that possibility, but I don't know if my heart could handle 2 huge upsets.
Definitely not.
Obviously, we had a little discussion with Flamboyant yesterday. I don't know if that's up yet on the website.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah. Been posted.
So yeah, if any of you guys seen that, obviously we predicted ARCRED Prodigy is going to make it very deep.
Potentially after tonight, we could see both of those teams fall. Prodigies, though, they're looking good here on the pistol. I say that Virtuoso could find a frag and bring it to a 1 versus 2. In fact, he finds the harder kills, brings it to a 1v1, but SBT clutches it out, secures the round for the Prodigies. Did get a little dicey there. Something to mention though, Charlie, you touched upon it. And, you know, I feel like we got to talk about it now. Flamboyant in that little talk that we had, you know, potentially wasn't giving enough respect to some of the teams, and I'm overjoyed that he was proved wrong. You know, to me that is just the best thing that can happen.
I mean, it's typical Flamboyant, isn't
it?
I don't
definitely.
Think there's many chances where he's proved right. It feels like he's wrong more than he is right. So
he's a good guy though. He's a nice guy.
Well, I mean, a lot of these teams are really disagreeing, but yeah, I certainly think potentially if any teams did watch that, they'll probably feel like we've made it here to playoffs. We've got a point to prove. Yes, we weren't right there at the top of the leaderboard, but there's no reason why we can't cause an absolute nuisance for some of these bigger teams, and they already have. But yeah, it just cements what we said, Fred. Playoffs is a completely different beast. It's a completely different nature of the game, and you're going to be playing it. You can't really throw everything you have into one map because you've got 3 of them potentially.
Yeah, I think as well, I think you kind of mentally as a team, you've got to split the regular season and the playoffs apart. I feel like you treat them as 2 separate entities. You know, yes, you obviously need to qualify for the playoffs based on your success in the regular season, but by no stretch of the imagination can you keep that similar playstyle, because in these best of 3s, in these long drawn out games, you need to be playing at your peak for the whole, 120, 180 minutes, because this is going to be a long series for these players to play. And all it takes, Charlie, one little mistake. It could be 5 seconds of a misplay, and that could be the whole game, the whole series, your playoffs run coming to an end.
You're already talking about mistakes. Singularity have somehow managed to find a couple of kills around where they've only really gone into it with just these weaker pistols. A couple of Deagles being upgraded now.
Yeah, Keen as well. Just with a tech in this round. Clearly very confident. Could lose his life here. SBT going to be sending out the flash, swinging on through as well. Will convert the initial kill, and Keen steals away his second. So the Prodigies, they go 3-0 up here. Looking strong so far. Obviously, to reiterate, this is Singularity's map pick. But Charlie, I think, obviously, the Singularity side, they've just been picked up today. So I think not only are they going to be facing a bit of pressure with the kind of the playoffs in general, but they've got something to prove here. You know, a new roster just been picked up. They've got something to prove. They've got something to show. And a win here for Singularity would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think there certainly will be sort of that element of, I want to prove that, you guys made the right decision picking us up. So I certainly think that's going to be part of it, but losing 2 early kills in this round, certainly not going to be what they want the higher-ups to see just yet. Yeah,
the AWP of Shield, so key in a lot of these games so far for the Prodigies. And once again, in this round, holding a lot of importance. FNK does find one shield, once again strikes. And certainly not a shield in this round, more of a dagger. So much damage inflicted to the Singularity side. A 4K found. And what a performance there, defending on the B-bomb site.
It sort of obliterates the Singularity force buy. You're going to be back on these half buys. No bomb plant means no full investment for Singularity unless they're feeling a little bit risky, but luckily they're not. Just going to be these pistols with util, armor behind majority of them.
We saw a pistol round earlier come a little close as well, although 3 of the Prodigy's players did survive. You can never count out the Deagles. I feel like it's a sentence we probably say the most in these games, because I feel like we're proven wrong quite a lot of the time. We kind of talk about how, you're going to be against just pistols, simple round, but the Deagles really can make things work. CT's though looking strong here. Cloaku going to be pushing very deep into the molly, in fact. We'll find one before falling. SBT, he's been so impactful in this game, not only finding trades, but also finding openers. Currently 8-1. FNK finds Polo in the back lines, and they're aware of Nesty's position here towards 8.
Yeah, whether they're aware of the bomb or not, I don't think it really matters. Nesty going to have to come all the way back, and that's where he's going to meet a few of the CTs along his journey, but probably with just 33 points of health, might not be able to survive for that too long.
Yeah, definitely not going to be easy. FNK playing a great off angle. Has kind of dodged death, though, as Nesty leans a little bit more towards Sewer. Steps have been heard, though. Finding one before falling, not all too bad. Obviously, the economy for the Prodigies still looking fairly strong. It will slowly get whittled away. And Singularity, they're not going to be too unhappy with the result of that round. They found 3 kills. Remember, Charlie, it was Deagles and Tech9s. They've got the big green out in this round. They've got the 4-buy out. But they need to start putting some rounds on the board, because this is their map pick, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worrying thing. Obviously, you mentioned, obviously, the fact that Inferno is the second map. If a team like the Prodigies do take it, it can still be up in the air. Just a map like Inferno is known play by all, like you said. In terms of win rates in the regular season, it's very different. Prodigy played Inferno 3 times, winning them all. Singularity played it once and did lose it. So, yeah, it's obviously a map that I don't think you can look too much in statistics from, as everyone's just naturally going to know how to play the map. But it does still have a few implications and ramifications that potentially Singularity, if they don't win this one, don't really want to think about too much.
A nice opener there from Keen as well. Was aware of the boost, obviously coming off the back of the smoke that was thrown. It was really, really impactful there. Control towards middle. Found a pick kind of for free there. Obviously, they have given up mid for the time being. We do see Nesty's flash going to be coming through now. But Singularity still in this man disadvantage situation. It's not going to be perfect, but these players towards A, Keen and SBT have got a lot of work on their hands as they'll be facing off against 4 opponents here. Keen does find one though. Ready for the trade. Ready for the swing. Does get a bit of timing on Cloku. Going to reposition. SBT does go down for free. And Cloku able to find Keen as well. So a 3 versus 3 now. 2 players on the side of Singularity have been chipped away at a little bit. And the one problem that Singularity are going to be facing quite heavily in this round is the real lack of utility. Only 1 flashbang remaining on Virtuoso. It's not going to be easy by kind of no stretch of the imagination. A lot of util going to be coming over now. We still have an HE grenade on both FNK and on Shield. And Quirtz fading the smoke. The attention taken away by his teammates.
It's just the 2 low HP players now. Shield swings on out, ready for that off angle.
Oh, perfect.
All alone, in fact, finds Virtuoso and will be the one to defuse the bomb. Nice 3k once again from Shield. Even whilst not on the AWP, can still put up some big numbers and 6-0 start for the Prodigies.
And a perfect start for them. Obviously, you know, the rounds haven't been so convincing, but look at the economy, Charlie. I feel like just from the initial portions of this half where they have had so many strong results, and the fact that Singularity really are struggling to kind of put anything their way. And I feel like that round as well, we knew there was 2 players that were low for Singularity, yet it was the one who was full HP. Yes, they found a frag, but the trade was instant. Potentially, we needed to see, you know, one of the low HP players take that initial contact. Because 2 players adding up to 29 points of health in a 2 versus 2, it's not going to be easy.
Obviously, with the bomb plant in the previous, Singularity can still get an investment out. They can still have a bit of a chance in this one. 4 AKs down that 1 Gillo, 1 Polo.
No AWP in play for Singularity. We need to see a change of tune here for the T's. Otherwise, they are going to struggle. See, the Prodigies winning this round, they could put themselves up to 8 in a row. Obviously, off the basis that they are going to be playing with just those pistols. Nice opener from Shield, though. And this is a perfect bait and switch. SBT, it's all about timing here. I don't believe he's been spotted. Oh, and SBT does find one. Destined for a double, but sadly, can't connect the bullets. Oh, the repeat from Shield. The confidence sadly doesn't hit his 3rd shot of the game, but he's done so much in this round. Keen takes down Polo and Frio. All that remains here. Quirtz's timing is perfect. The Prodigies find 7 and Singularity left with their head in hands.
Yeah, it's a good looking round from the Prodigies there. The fact that, yeah, I mean, like you said, it looked like a perfect bait and switch for the double. Either way, only 1, but we saw Singularity setting up for that A hit, but Shield was able to get a kill before they really fully set up. So he was able to back away. What should have happened there, if all 4 players went into the Prodigies, there's a good chance that they sort of go 2 for 2. And then that's where they can break into the bomb site with a bit more speed. These rotations will be delayed, but either way, in this one, it's just like the last domination.
SBT finding 4. Shield surely going to find this kill very comfortably. And as I mentioned, Charlie, 8 has been found here for the Prodigies. Charlie, this is Singularity's map pick. You mentioned the risk, and it's clear to see why.
I mean, obviously, Singularity are going to be very confident on the map. At the end of the day, they picked it in playoffs. That both these teams are going to want to have a very deep run. Yeah, it is scary to think when Prodigies have played the map and they look better than you do on it in the regular season, at least. Obviously, it doesn't mean that Singularity aren't going to have sort of strategies saved, new tactics, get ready for playoffs. But yeah, right now it's a bit of a scary sight to see if you're Singularity. Your own map pick. 8-0 down.
It's clear though that Singularity are still confident in themselves. They're playing to their strengths and not trying to kind of, you know, walk on eggshells around their opponents. They don't want to try and, you know, make things as hard as possible for their opponents. They want to keep things as easy for them. But obviously, you mentioned Prodigies. They've had such strong results here on Anubis, and potentially this will be another. Lovely nade.
Grenade there. Or double nade, in fact. Look at Polo's health now.
34. Nesty as well, been chipped down.
I feel like we're going to see a few more things like that as Anubis sort of progresses into the map. Just these cheekier sets of utility, but Nesty does find one. Was an opening kill for Singularity, but it didn't last for too long.
Obviously, Nesty, though, was the player that got chipped down initially by those nades, so the fact he's found one and the trade comes through, it's not all too bad. Obviously, though, Shield, once again on this AWP, having a lot of impact. Finds a frag, allowed to back away. Oh, perfect nade.
Spotted an enemy, Fred.
Just 3 HE grenades.
3 HE grenades thrown at him. That is brutal.
Devastating. Virtuoso playing in an angle, not blinded by the flash. Shield going to be peeking here, though. Finds the bomb carrier, aware of the final player. And Virtuoso potentially should have fallen there, but Shield potentially still going to give this one a bit of a peek as he repositions. And these rotations of SBT and Keen, very quick. They've got the bomb. And I think this is going to be a 9th hit for the Prodigies. Virtuoso really going to need to pull off kind of an impossible round here.
Getting slightly chipped down as well.
Has he been spotted on this elevation? Certainly has. Shield finds him. 3 kills, sorry, in that round for Shield. Currently 14-2. 9-0 now, Charlie.
Yeah, the issue is for Singularity is they're in this sort of limbo where it's constant half buys, then full buys, and if you're half buying but you get bomb plant, you can go for the full buy, but it's not a perfect full buy, and you're having limitations here or there. You're unlikely to have an AWP. So there's so many. It feels like a lot of the buys that, even though they are getting thanks to the bomb plant and obviously the full loss bonus, they're not perfect, and it feels like Singularity, they're in quite a deep hole right now, and they need something to dig them out. And if it's not a perfect buy, it feels like they're having even more limitations than they already are.
Great flash there, though. But yeah, I agree with you. I feel like they're potentially kind of drawn into the necessity for a buy. But I think when you look at the rounds, they kind of have to start going for these buys. They can't really afford to just fully eco because really haven't found much success. Great from Keen there as he finds a double. FNK as well finds 2 of his own. And the Prodigies, they find 10. Charlie, 10 rounds on the CT side in a row. At what point do we kind of call this first map done already?
I feel like we can only really judge that when the half ends. If Singularity can somehow pull off 5 rounds, then it's really game on. But obviously, if Prodigies can continue this, get 13, 14 rounds, then I think it's going to be a little scary for Singularity.
But even with 10, Charlie, the Prodigies, they're going to be ecstatic with the result of this half so far. You know, if you tell them, you know, your first half of your first game, you're winning at 10-5 on the CT side of Anubis, they're never going to be disappointed with that. And this is a lovely looking round here for the Prodigies as well. Quirt's getting deep here towards A. All this control's been taken. Hefty nade as well towards the B-bomb site. And FNK spam is perfect. Not only does he find one, I think he's got the intel on the other. Molotov going to force them back as well, and the steps definitely have been heard. Shield defending here towards A with a 4-man B stack. The Prodigies, this round is theirs for the taking.
It really does give off that feel. Players on Singularity trying to cross through mid, potentially have a bit of a B split going on, but when you're 2-man disadvantaged, I mean, all 5 players on the Prodigies are 100 HP and you've been whittled down. It's going to be a real tough round, but I mean, we've seen the impossible happen in the SCL time after time.
Charlie, the difficult factor that they're going to be facing off against, not only is there some great setups here from the Prodigies, and there it is, FNK finds a frag, SBT right by his side to clean up, Virtuoso all that remains once again. But as I was saying, it's not as though the Prodigies are kind of having to have these kind of really clutch situations. It seems as though every single individual here on this side is just doing a great job. And a great example of that, Quirts, currently 5 and 6, but probably had the best play of the whole game. Drops in towards Canals, finds the player towards A, and that's the round done. Already, they're forced to go towards the B-bomb site or towards middle. That's where we see those, amazing crossfires from the Prodigies. And they're just able to find 11 off the back of it. Once again, we see a half buy here. 4 Tech 9s and a Deagle invested from Team Singularity. And really, they are struggling. Quirts, a lot to do here. Does find his first. Second soon to come, but will fall, in fact, to Virtuoso. So a 4 versus 3 hit. And this is the chance that Singularity have been begging for. Ooh, Polo as well takes down Keen. SBT and Shield. 2 versus 4 here, but Charlie, they got so much money. They're definitely going to give this one a crack.
This is the best looking situation we've seen Singularity in, and it's just on this rush towards A. Molotov dropped out. Both CTs coming from the same angle.
You got to remember though, Charlie, the Prodigy still have somewhat of a chance, but Virtuoso finding that frag really important. Takes down Shield as well. First round on the board here for Singularity. About time too. Double AWP, Charlie. Keen bringing out the big green as well.
Yeah, this is actually a little bit of a risk at this point of the game. Obviously, they do have the money to be able to justify it without really any financial issues. But the fact that things have been working out so well for them and they were just caught out by a single rush towards B, potentially it could be a little unnecessary. Obviously, if they win the round, then no harm done.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it plays out. Sometimes the double AWP can, really be that double-edged sword. Not only can it be financially crippling, but sometimes on those retakes, when the 2 AWPers are the ones to survive, it really can affect you. SBT, though, does find a pick towards middle, will instantly be rotating back towards the A bomb site. Obviously, Shield holding the lines here towards B. But now they get aggressive. Ooh. Nesty, an important frag. Polo finds one more as well. Man advantage here for Singularity. Obviously, Nesty is very low HP. Polo could get somewhat caught out here. There's only 2 players on the A-bomb site right now, Charlie. Virtuoso still lurking towards middle. And there's the success he gains from it. FNK, all that remains. Polo eliminates. And Singularity, they double down. They string their rounds together. And they put 2 on the board here.
An important round as well. Had the man disadvantage early and still dug deep. But those 2 players towards A need some real big impactful plays there. The fact that they went 2-throw on the A-bomb site really was the difference maker.
Really nice there from both Nesty and Polo. 2 players that have been struggling in this one. Bit of a default here from Singularity. Nice smoke there, denying vision. Ooh, I think it might have missed its mark, in fact. Thought it was landing towards elbow, but I think it's landed a little too deep. SBT drops his smoke towards middle. There is a gap on the left-hand side and reaps the rewards as he finds Cloku. And once again, it's SBT to open things up. Currently 17-5, Charlie. Hefty nade onto Frio as well.
Singularity are going to have to try to replicate the last round. Our disadvantage once again. Very ready for this low possibility.
Aware of the flank. Virtuoso eliminates Quirts. Back to a level playing field, and Nesty holding the lines. The Prodigies, they find the opening pick, but then the aggression's what catches them out. Quite unnecessary as well. Ooh, the AWP duel goes the way of Polo as well. 4 versus 2, Charlie. It was a 5v4 in favour of the Prodigies, and they just lose 3 picks for nothing. FNK, though, does grab one back. Nesty going to be pushing on through. The AWP of Shield on the back of the bomb site will fall. And FNK, a tough round on his hands. Essentially just going to save.
The money's really been drained. I think he's going to have to. Saving one of these AWPs potentially towards the B side of the map.
Once again, it's the Prodigies making a really big mistake here that's given Singularity a round. They find the opener, and then 2 players getting aggressive. Just quite unnecessary.
It does feel like a little bit of complacency. They want it in this map, but maybe they just need to take their time. Play how they were. We weren't really seeing this level of non-stop aggression. It felt like we saw it from players like Quirts pushing deeper, but then once he found the kill, they just sort of backed off. Yeah, it feels like maybe trying to do a little bit too much to win these rounds now. And yeah, I think there's only one round that comes to mind where Singularity have really had the man advantage and being able to keep it for more than just a few seconds, and that was actually the B push.
Yeah, definitely. And that kind of just came as a real surprise. A couple missed shots. But yeah, we head into the final round of the half, and Singularity potentially need to take this fourth because although they've had some signs of success here, they still have only found 3 rounds on the T side. So, oh, nice opener from Virtuoso. Takes down FNK. Keen with the response though, eliminates Cloaku through the smoke.
Yeah, lucky to find that one there. Would have been disadvantage for Prodigies, but in fact, look at this from Polo pushing through the smoke. SBT is still slightly aware, but even on the jig, he gets caught out.
Polo's so quick there on the AWP. It's going to force some rotations towards the A bomb site, and that's where we see the T's heading their way towards B.
I think the HG grenade blew a flashbang back, and he thought he was being flashed in.
The intricacies of what CS really can be. 3v4 though. Prodigies still have a chance.
Half as well, so yeah, Prodigies are definitely going to be going for this one.
Nice find from Quirts. Oh, a lot of damage dealt to Nesty as well. Molotov will be thrown. Final 2 players both coming from long. Polo on the AWP. Simple frag to be found. Shield soon to follow. What a round from Polo. He gets a triple hit. 4 in a row from Singularity. The Prodigies, potentially the first couple that they lost there, kind of given away, I guess.
Yeah, it felt like we saw a few change-ups. We had the double AWP from them, as well as just having a lot more aggression than we saw in previous rounds. And Singularity, they were more than happy. They were more than content just to play these defaults and just wait them out. And it just ended up working for them. What always seemed like it was Prodigies having man advantage. Singularity did a great job at gaining it back even after losing the early ones. But yeah, we saw Prodigies have man advantage in situations and still continue to push, which definitely does give off the feel that they wanted to end this game quickly. But in doing so, potentially has given Singularity a lifeline.
Yeah, definitely an avenue back into this one. But the pistol round being very important for this Singularity side. I feel like if we see the Prodigies take this pistol, it's still going to be very tough for Singularity.
Couple of pairs of dual Berettas on the side of Singularity.
I think, is that a P2K on Cloaku?
That's the PG-1000, yeah.
Yeah, I like to see it. Potentially doesn't get as much love as it used to.
Yeah, there's still a few players.
Yeah, there's still a couple
there that that do use it.
Would you ever switch?
No, probably not. I can barely use the USPs. No point in starting from scratch and trying to learn another weapon.
What, learning the spray of a P2K?
I mean, there's a bit of a spray pattern to them.
I guess if you're shooting your pistol that quickly.
Oh, FNK being given a gift.
Yeah, Keen as well, finding Nesty. Nice trade. Polo with the Julies. A nice position here. Might be given a pick. We saw the Julies across the map find kills as Virtuoso also chimes in. And once again, Charlie, it's a man advantage for the Prodigies that we see Singularity get the extra man on. They do it again. Cloaku, final no in the coffin as well. But that was a 4 versus 3. But then we just saw a little bit of kind of isolated aggression once again from the Prodigies. Potentially we need to see...
They got the kills, but just with 2 split, and it felt like they were too late to decide what we're going to do with this. So just allow players on Singularity. But yeah, obviously Cloaku going... Quirts getting aggressive towards the A-bomb side when not really any support was there. So yeah, this is a bit of a free kill for Singularity and definitely got them back into that.
Yeah, we mentioned the importance of this pistol as well. Obviously the Prodigies just operating with pistols in this one. We do have the P250 on FNK. The rest just being Glocks, and we do have the flash on Keen as well. Don't expect much from a round like this though. Essentially a kill, a bomb plant at best, but it's going to be tough. They are leaning towards the A-bomb site, and they could potentially find a pick here. Obviously, Polo a bit isolated. Flash is good though. He finds his first, second, third. Oh, not the fourth though. And that's the pain of the FAMAS. I feel like there's just not enough bullets for you to fully execute that 5-man spray.
In fact, he actually only found 2 of them.
Team kill.
End up killing Quirts there.
Devastating.
A bit unfortunate. It's going to be losing out on a little bit of money, but we can still get a decent enough fight.
Yeah, AKs across the board, willing to sacrifice utility, so potentially we're going to be seeing a little bit of a fast hit here from the Prodigies with that limited util. Oh, great opener from FNK. Might force their hand a little to lean towards the B-bomb site. FNK just needs to keep himself alive though.
Yeah, Prodigies, we've seen in recent rounds, they've let these man advantages just slip away.
Charlie, look at the minimap. We've got a 3-man push here towards B main. FNK seems somewhat aware of it. First is found. Not the second, though, as Virtuoso gets the trade. But that's got to be the go call here for the Prodigies. They are, in fact, splitting through B. Quartz does find one, though. Virtuoso in a great position. Does find one before being traded. 3 versus 1 now. The Prodigies certain to take this round. Some real mistakes would have to be made. Shield, not a perfect spray, but...
Yes, Boss Nasty brings him down very low, though.
Sadly, Nesty can't find anything before falling. So the Prodigies, they find their 12th round, 4 away from closing out map 1. And a reminder, map 1 selected by Singularity.
Money's in a real awkward situation for Singularity here. They have no loss bonus, Fred. In fact, after that loss, actually, they do have 1 loss bonus, but it's just our 1.9k. So players like Cloaku are going to be very far off where they need to be. Luckily, the rest of the team is going to be able to get a full buy, but
obviously
it's not ideal that they lose 1 round and instantly just on the pistols again.
Yeah, I think that's the real devastating factor about the CT side. But obviously, Virtuoso with a little bit of money in the reserve, potentially we can see the AWP out in the next round. Obviously, the AWP being a real key factor for the Prodigies' success on their CT side. A lot of util thrown over towards the A-bomb site. Nothing committed yet. FNK could fall here. Going into a bit of a stack towards B. Still operating as this lurk as we've seen him in previous rounds. He's got to get a lot of information, though, from these steps. Are they going to be ready for the flank, though? Oh, Keen. Perfect position. Spots out 3. Can only find 1 so far. Could go down here, in fact.
Needs to be a little bit careful. Getting shipped down lower and lower. Does just back around the corner, but he wants more. And I think this is time to call it quits.
Yeah, 12 HP. Ooh, Nesty was playing a real off angle there, but still got caught out. Cloaku. Final remaining player. FNK eliminates. 5 alive for the Prodigies. 13 found now. And Singularity, a loss in this next round could make things a little too tough. As obviously we will see the Prodigies find 15 off the back of this. So a dangerous situation for Singularity to be in. Do you think they have what it takes, Charlie, to bring things back?
It's all going to be on this round, Fred. I think if they lose this, this will be map 1 probably done. Unless we can see some unbelievable comeback. But yeah, this round's going to have so much importance in the grand scheme of things. The spray looks good initially onto SBT.
Nesty lining up the flash here. Ooh, Quirts though. Great aggression. FNK finds Virtuoso as well. And are we going to see a save here from Singularity? Realistically, they lose this round with no player surviving. Then they're going to be giving up match points. So yeah, they're just going to have to save straight away. Brilliant openers from both Quirts and FNK. Instantly, the round goes the way of the Prodigies.
Yes, so much damage has been dealt from Singularity onto these players, but when you're in a 5 versus 3, it doesn't really matter a lot of the time. We know what players can do on such low HP, but the thing that would entice me for Singularity, obviously a lot of it's going to be unconfirmed, was done by util spams that you can never really be sure how much they've dealt. But if I knew, and I was on the Singularity side, I'd love to give it a bit of a crack with some well-placed HE grenades, and potentially you can just find some kills there alone. What is going on here?
Bit of a boost,
Maybe
I guess.
seeing if they can find some cheeky broken boost.
Yeah, I guess.
At the
Yeah,
end
why
of the
not?
round timer.
I think as well, a key factor that did dictate Singularity saving there is the fact that they are staring down the barrel of such a heavy deficit. You know, if we saw this early on, maybe it was a 10-8 scoreline at the moment, you know, you could potentially see them go for it. But no, 14-6, they can't really give up a round. Well, they can't really go for a round like that. They have to save the AWP.
Fred Frio on the scoreboard right now, he's 2-18.
They're really, really struggling. And I feel like as well, not only is there the pressure of playoffs, there's the pressure of just being signed, you know, new roster, new org, and also the fact that this is your map pick and you're underperforming. There's just so much weight on this individual shoulders. And I feel like as well, sometimes when you are in that situation where you're having a bit of a bad day at the office and you're struggling initially, you start making those advantageous plays. You start making those kind of aggressive plays that you'd never make just to get another frag on the board. And I feel like potentially that's something that could be a little bit of a crux here for the Singularity side. 8-round difference. They really need this one or it could be all over. And they fully invested. So this is do or die here for Singularity.
Have to find something. Flashbang early towards A main. Nothing spotted, but SBT is lingering nearby, holding for any sort of aggression.
Nesty getting aggressive, has spots one. He's going to back away and just leave, I believe, Cloku, yeah. Just going to be leaving Cloku tucked away with this MP9. Frio, player we touched upon earlier, not having such a convincing game. We'll find one, though. Can just back away as well. A good job done there. Man advantage the way of Singularity. Frio going to be trying to rotate in quickly. Cloku, what I spoke about. SBT, though, does find one before falling. Shield as well. Gets himself on the scorecard. Polo with a lot of work to do here. Orb in hand. Does find the first. Searching for the second. Sadly, doesn't find him through the smoke. And now Cloku emerges. Does take down Key. Now it's all on FNK. No, oh, they do have a kit on Cloku. In fact, just going to be sticking it. And the round's won. Singularity, an important round for them to find.
No one else does for Singularity, so at least keep 2 weapons in play, and they can get a full buyout with not really any limitations, just maybe a bit in the util department, but yeah, close round there. Disadvantage once again for Singularity, but they still come out on top.
I like this from Frio. Brings out the AUG. Like, it's a weapon that, you know, we don't see all too often, but when it is brought out, you know, it's a real beauty to see. I wish the gun had a little bit more love, but... Oh, Keen takes full advantage of that AWP shot. Obviously, Cloku completely distracted there. Keen fades the smoke, finds him. Trade does come through, so still a 4-on-4 now. There's a gap in that smoke. Certainly what Quirtz is thinking. A little bit worried about the prospect of a bit of a lurk behind that smoke. SBT.
Fred, look at Frio.
So deep
All
here.
the way in T-spawn right now. Could really unravel this round.
They definitely need to be aware of it. Oh, great find from Virtuoso. Yeah, Frio still in the back lines here. Biding his time, waiting for his moment. Has been spotted deep here. Obviously, will take down Quirtz. But a 4 versus 2 here. Remember, Charlie, this was a 4-on-4. It was initially a 5-on-4 as well. Another round where Singularity in a disadvantaged situation. And they seem to be the one to take it. 8th round found here for Singularity. They've just got to play each round one by one if they want a chance to take map 1.
Timeout call from the Prodigies. Still enough money in the bag to be able to get an investment out. That's pretty impressive. They've actually got this much money. They just lost 2 rounds in a row and they're still... I mean, you've got AWP out, money in the reserve. SBT still got some money in the reserve. Keen as well. Quirk should have a bit left as well. And considering they weren't in the best situation, it just shows the impact of those 3 rounds they won, 2 of which have all 5 alive.
I was just going to mention, it's the fact that they've won these rounds so convincingly. Whereas for Singularity, in the past, in their last couple of rounds that they found, they were kind of clutch. They were 2 players surviving, 1 player surviving here or there, and I think that's the real difference maker. But obviously, the Prodigies, if a loss does come through in this round, they will be forced onto those Tech 9s, onto those Deagles. Won't be a full buy-in play, but the Prodigies certainly not going to be looking for a loss in this one. A shield kicks things off very nicely. FNK to open things up. It is a 3B setup, so Frio emerges. Does find one. They're going to certainly be looking for the trade, but SBT finds one towards A, and the Prodigies surely have this round in the palm of their hand. 2 versus 4 here. A near impossible round for Singularity to clutch up. And Charlie, what do they do here? The money's not perfect. The loss bonus certainly isn't looking all too good. It's going to be map point for the Prodigies if they just give this one up. Do you go for a save here, or do you at least give it a bit of a go?
I think they're going to be trying to go for a save, and I probably would tend to agree, but look at the bodies on the Prodigy side starting to close in. See if they can find anything.
Quirtz has snuck through here. He's behind a player. Knife kill coming through in round 23. Cloku, all that remains, does go down to SBT. And Charlie, a 15th round has been found. Look at the money. There's going to be Deagles on Freo. There's going to be potentially MP9s at best. I feel like you've got to say the Prodigies surely are going to take this one.
Yeah, I mean, it really does feel like that when you consider how many rounds could still be played, could still be in this game. And they're on match point, only needing to find one. Yeah, it feels like it's more of a matter of time rather than will it happen.
Certainly not going to be easy. 2 Famasses and 3 Deagles for survival. Nesty, the Snake could do a lot of damage here. That kind of misses its mark. Nesty's still on the center of the bomb site, searching for something, but it goes down to FNK. Shield finds Cloku as well beforehand. Frio trying to find something, but Quirtz eliminates. And Charlie, it's a 5 versus 2 here. Polo and Virtuoso. I say that, it's just Polo remaining, but nice Deag shots here. But he swings onto 2, and SBT closes it out. The Prodigies, they take map 1 very convincingly. Their opponent's map pick as well, Charlie. What a result that is for them. They're going to be ecstatic with that. And then obviously we go to Inferno, their map pick. They're going to be brimming with confidence. They're going to be on the map that they've selected. I feel like the Prodigies potentially going to be closing this one out 2-0. But what are you thinking after that one?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game, start to finish from the Prodigies. There was a few hiccups here or there, but majority of the game, they felt like they were in the driver's seat. They felt like they were the ones who were going to close it out. But it was, you have to look at it and think of it was the start that really helped the Prodigies out in that one. They were in such a dominant position. What they were over 10, they were 11-0 up, I think.
11-0, yeah.
Yeah, 11-0 up. And there's not really ever going to be much coming back from that unless you play some really, really perfect Counter-Strike. And when you consider that's on your opponent's map pick, and they were that far up, it was a scary sight to see for quite a while. But yeah, moving on to Inferno, Fred, I mentioned it already, the Prodigies have played 3 maps of Inferno in the regular season, winning all of them. Singularity have played 1 and they lost it 16-5. So
yes, it's going to be tough.
Slightly scary times ahead, but obviously the good thing about Inferno is it feels like it doesn't really matter about recent results. It is still a map that both teams are going to know to a really high standard. Singularity have to make sure they can sort of get themselves in a good mental position. Otherwise, the Prodigies, it's just going to be brimming with so much confidence. They could steamroll the Singularity side. Yeah,
really tough task on Singularity's hands. Let's see if they do have the ability to take map 2, and then we head to Vertigo. But I guess we'll see after the break. Straight into the action we go, Charlie. Pistol round here. The Prodigies on the T side. Oh, and a nice start as Shield opens things up towards B. Takes down Frio. Obviously, Frio had a very tough first map. And already, things are not looking up. Shield in a great position. Finds... Well, I was going to say finds his second. He eventually does, but SPT steals away the first kill. And Nesty, you're in such a tough position, mate. Stuck towards Ruins. 4 players swinging in. Polo, all that remains, but 1 versus 5. What a start here from the Prodigies. Only 1 player falling, being Quirts. And they kind of start things here on Inferno. Has the kind of as how things kicked off on Anubis. Force buy in play here from Singularity. Obviously, we see 3 AKs in play, a Galil and the Mac-10 for Keen. But the Prodigies playing this one quite passively. I think they are aware, obviously, that it is this force buy. But 3 Deagles, a Scout, and a FAMAS. It's not too bad. It's quite strong, in fact. So Singularity, they've definitely got something to work with. Obviously, Utility being a little bit sacrificed in this round. Obviously, only having 2 smokes in this singular flashbang. The Singularity, they're confident that they are going to be able to make things work. And I guess we'll see.
Yeah, obviously, there's no second chances now for the Prodigies. Sorry, for Singularity. If they lose this, they're done. Playoff run over before it really started. They've got a nice tag onto Keen there. They are doing some decent damage. Obviously, already found the opening kill and a bit split on the Prodigy's side. 1 player towards B, the remaining towards A.
We're going to see a bit of a B split here. We do see Keen leaning a little bit towards CT. He has spotted the player rotating off, and oh, the FAMAS of Frio finds nothing. The B bomb site going to be their port of call. Sadly, Cloaku falls as well. We've got SBT in a great position to clean up the rotations. He does find 1. We are going to have a fast banana rotation, but it was kind of the opener going the way of Singularity and Prodigies. They come out of it 4 versus 2 now. Nice response from them.
Yeah, imagine these remaining players on Singularity just going to try to keep hold of their weapons. They don't really have what can be needed to be able to win this retake. I mean, you've got a Scout and a Mac-10. The trading's not really going to be perfect. No defuse kits. Can really be further from the action. So, yeah, it is going to be the Prodigies winning their second. Just going to probably be an eco around these 2 weapons for Singularity.
Yeah, already, though, the Prodigies, they've started things off nicely. Singularity on their next full buy. We need to see a strong response from them. Otherwise, a quick 2-0 could be what we're leaning towards. Obviously, we mentioned it, Inferno, a map played, known by all, you know, a real pillar of the CS competitive scene. So, it's not as though Singularity are going to be outclassed with the technical aspect of this map, but potentially the sheer level of confidence and the ability that the Prodigies have shown on Anubis might kind of take charge here in this map.
The Scout, Mac-10 and the Deagle, it certainly can cause some damage for this Prodigy side, but Virtuoso going to be the first to push in, and is the first to fall.
Yeah, a little bit of damage onto Quirts there, but nothing substantial. SBT, a real impactful member of this Prodigy side in the last, and already having a lot of impact in this game, currently 3-0. Nice opener towards Apps. Quirts lining up the nade. Oh, the timing could be perfect.
Just doesn't make it into the doorway. That probably could have taken down Cloaku, in fact. He does have no armor.
Seemed, you know, perfect nade. Frio, nice little off angle here. Could potentially catch him out, but FNK somehow dodges death here. And the Prodigies, they're hunting. It's clear to see why. They do find the initial 2 here. Just Cloaku remaining. Not going to be easy. surely going to fall here, and it is SBT to convert. So 3 in a row here for the Prodigies. Full buy going to be in play for Singularity, and an AWP can be brought out if Virtuoso decides to invest in one.
Yeah, 3 rounds, 1 in a row now from Prodigies. In all 3, only losing 2 players. So their money's certainly going to be building up, and it seems like they're just going to be content keeping hold of the Skilil, keeping hold of this Mac 10. Potentially even more cash.
Potentially a bit of an aggressive round coming through in this one. Seemingly just opting for a bit of a default though. Yeah, they're content with this Mac 10 regardless of whether they're going to be getting aggressive or not. Happy to play quite passive here. Polo already dropped down to 50 HP from the HE grenades there.
Yeah, Molly coming out as well. Probably going to force him back. Does just drop the smoke, so the Prodigies can't just crunch Cloco as he is alone.
There are 3 defenders here towards B, and it seems as though Prodigies are leaning towards the A bomb site. Rotations will come through that in the form of Frio.
Yeah, a lot of Utah has been burnt on Singularity. They have nothing left.
Ooh, Frio. He spotted one towards long, but SBT has crept through, does find Polo, an important frag to find. They're going to be aware of Frio here, but he does take down SBT. But once again, bit of a fake. And sadly, Cloku finds nothing there. Devastating. Quirts on this lurk towards brackets. And Charlie, the Prodigies are just playing such nice levels of CS here on Inferno. They're not kind of rushing into any bomb sites. It seems as though they're really weighing up their options. We initially saw that fake towards B. Singularity had an inkling that Prodigies were going to be leaning towards A, but it seemed as though the Prodigies always 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of their opponents here.
I mean, you can see what happened on Prodigies. They played it a bit slower, just taking control. But as soon as they found the kill onto Polo, they were aware that was the AWP towards B. They understood that, okay, Cloaku's going to be solo B here. We should just regroup and hit this bomb site. They did so, wasn't able to find anything, so it was all on that kill that they found onto Polo, the AWPer.
Charlie, we've had 4 rounds of play and only 4 kills found here for the Singularity side. Really not the situation you want to be in, especially when this is do or die. This is your season kind of completely in the balance.
Still plenty of time left on Inferno, but we will need to see some slightly more positive signs. But FNK, the great spray transfer, takes down a double. Obviously, Anubis started in a similar way. Did get massively out of hand for Singularity. Just an early lead that continued to advance, progress, until they were 11-0 down.
It seems as though whatever Singularity want to do, though, the Prodigies are ready for it, though. You know, we saw that aggressive push into Mexi from FNK. Great spray transfer to get to. Similarly with SBT, holding for the Apps aggression. And same story for Shield. Seems as though the Prodigies, they're so ready for everything that their opponents are going to throw at them. And once again, another round, no casualties here for the Prodigies. Look at the money on some of these players. We've got 3 players above 10k. Shield not too far behind, 9.2 currently. They've just got so much money to work with. So Singularity, even if they win a round, they've got to do it with at least 3 players surviving, or their buy is going to be worse than their opponents. And once again, no AWP in play for Polo. It seems as though Singularity, not only are they getting outmatched in the full buys, they're already at somewhat of a disadvantage. Potentially a bit of an A-pop coming through here for the Prodigies as all 5 players lean towards that bomb site. And with 3 defenders towards B for Singularity, and Quirt's finding Polo very early on. These rotates need to come through fast, and I think they're just going to be fully gambling. Nesty in a tough position here.
Does take down the bomb, gets a second, in fact, looks for his third, eventually gets shut down, but 3 versus 3, great hold there from Nesty, as the solo A defender could get taken down for nothing, but did so much work.
Yeah, the problem that Singularity are going to be facing is they either try and hold off and stop the bomb plant by grey screening through this smoke. A second smoke going to be coming through now as well. But we've got Shield in a great position here towards Pit. The rifles posted up on the A bomb site. It's not going to be easy.
I mean, Singularity have...
They're going to be saving.
Smoke.
Charlie, they have no kit as well. It's a 3 versus 3 and they're forced to save. That's the situation that the Prodigies have forced them into. And Virtuoso shaking his head in the server, probably shaking his head at home as well, because this is another round that Singularity are going to have to concede.
I mean, you completely understand why they're saving. Both bomb sites on Inferno can be really brutal to take, especially the A bomb site when there are smokes constantly down. It seems like if Singularity had a flashbang or two, I think they would give that one a crack 100%. But the fact that they had nothing to force the Prodigies off from staring at that smoke, it feels like it would just be free kills.
Yeah, and I think as well, not only is that is the lack of a kit always going to make things tough. You're going to just have to rush the retakes. And there was 3 players surviving there. It wasn't as though it was a kind of a 1v1 and not having a kit. It just goes to show that not only is Singularity unfavored with the kind of the Orping duel and the fact that Polo didn't have one in the last, there's still limitations even when they've got that utility. Players not investing in kits, and it's disappointing to see from the Singularity side, because that was the first real round where I was thinking, yeah, Singularity, they've got a real chance in this one. Oh, nice from Shield though, finds his first, second as well. Quiet steals away Virtuoso, and instantly 20 seconds of play, Charlie, and we're looking at a 5 versus 2.
Fred, this is a really interesting round. Singularity could have fully invested it. They opted against it. They chose the half buy. It seems like they are realizing on Anubis they were constantly in this trend of getting these full buys out, but they weren't perfect. They could have had 5 M4s in this round, with obviously Util as well, but instead they opted against it. They clearly want this AWP out. They want these kits. They want everything.
Well, they don't really want any excuse to be losing the rounds. There's always been something going against them, but I feel like with a full buy, with everyone on kind of every weapon that they really desire, you know, they should have a fairly strong chance. But we're going to see it in the next. Virtuoso can drop over that AWP to Polo. But this is it. Singularity, their first real full buy. Shouldn't have any limitations. Are they going to win it though, Charlie?
They've lost... The fact that already we're talking about a buy with basically no limitations. Obviously a couple of pieces on Polo. But other than that, it's near enough perfect. When you consider it, we're in that situation already, but we're 1 round away from the Prodigies winning the half.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Singularity have just been a little bit outmatched in this game.
Obviously, we always knew the Prodigies were going to be a very tough matchup for anyone to come up against. The fact that they only got 1 loss in the regular season.
I believe 2nd overall in the regular season.
Just on round difference, SBT making his presence known. The flashbang's good to force Polo off, and it allows him to get the double.
And SBT once again showing his dominance here. And we mentioned Inferno being potentially a bit of a 50-50 matchup, but the Prodigies certainly got control of this one. Virtuoso does find one. It's a 3 versus 3 now. It's a real opportunity for Singularity to find success. The rotation from Frio is not going to be perfect, but Virtuoso's done a good job here. Cloaku as well.
There is still a smoke on SBT. He can throw that out towards Moto. But use it towards Pit instead.
You're denying vision for Frio. Singularity, though, they've got a real chance to put their first round on the board. Ooh. The drop has been heard on the player in Pit. SBT still on the bomb site, and there it is. Keen and SBT both find their kills. The 2 players to find frags in this round for the Prodigies. The 3k from SBT, and obviously saw that double. But the Prodigies, they've won the half. SBT's 11-1. Potentially, Charlie, dare I say it, is it already too far gone?
Yeah, there's certainly still a lot of time for Singularity to come back, but they are gonna need to really change things up, because I mean, when you consider, I mean, things as just as basic as the kills, we've got 9 kills on the side of Singularity, Fred.
And SBT 11. Just goes to show
even
that
Shield's on 8.
Yeah,
he's near enough the same position. It's just kill wise, it's completely going the way of Prodigy. We've seen so many situations massively unfavored where players on the Prodigy are just besting numerous players on Singularity, like the one we saw from SBT in that round. 2
great
players
double
in apps, and he can find them both. That should never be happening. These are just simple mistakes that have been made from Singularity, and it feels like potentially Anubis is a bit in their head, and it feels like just how this game going isn't helping at all.
Yeah, I think as well what you touched upon about the kills is really important. Not only does it give nothing for Team Singularity to kind of go off, no confidence to be gained. It's not as though they're finding many frags, but it means that the Prodigies, they've always got such a strong economy. It's something that we kind of saw on Anubis, but I don't think to this scale. I don't think anywhere near to this standard. It seems though these rounds are always so convincing for the Prodigies, and Singularity, not only if they have the chance to win a round, they've got to do it convincingly, but the economy for the Prodigies is so good. I want to say even if they lose 3-4 rounds in a row, they're still going to be getting out of full buy. And that's the real detriment that Singularity have got themselves into. Yes, there's still a chance for things to go back their way, but they've got to start putting rounds on the board. I'm thinking at least 6 rounds are going to be needed on this CT side, or potentially it's already too far gone.
Yeah, it sadly does give a bit of an illusion, but there's still time. At the end of the day, if you look at it in a best of one, we would not say this game's over. Obviously, it's still going to be very tough, but we do need to see more from Singularity. There's going to be a bit of a tech pause, and hopefully just in this time, they can also just give themselves a bit of a breather. These best of threes, a lot of the times we can see it as well in these best of threes, where teams they sort of negate to use their pauses as much as they should because of how sort of contested the moment is and how you can really just get sucked into the game that you're playing. With these tech pauses, it will give everyone on the server a bit of time just to breathe.
Yeah,
Hopefully
definitely.
that's what Singularity will need. Just a bit of a mental refresher. Because at the end of the day, Fred, right now we've seen a best of 3 that's basically been the Prodigy show.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, I feel like Singularity, not only are they going to be facing off against a tough opponent, one in which that we kind of speculated would get themselves to at least the semi-finals, maybe finals, or potentially taking the crown. They've looked so dominant. They've looked really strong. And I feel like it's definitely not the team you want to be facing off against in this round of 16 situation. But I think at the same time, Singularity, they got themselves to the playoffs. They need to start showing something because it really is a little too late. I feel like, yes, map 1, it was really dominant from the side of the Prodigies. We're still in that similar situation here, but it's not all too far gone. Singularity potentially can still get 7 rounds in this half, and that's not all too bad at all. But I think they need to start to change things up now, or potentially we are just going to be seeing a clean 2-0.
Obviously, we did see on Anubis Singularity make a bit of a comeback towards the end of the half if they want to be able to sort of make this game go their way. I feel like they've got to start their comeback sooner. They only got the last 4 rounds of the half. Finished 11-4 on Anubis. It can't be the same situation. I feel like they need at least 6.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, while this tech pause is still in motion, we are just going to be jumping to a short break. Hopefully, everything will get resolved very shortly. Guess the pause came through a bit in the tail end of the tech pause, but back into the action now. Half buy here from Team Singularity. Not too weak at all. Obviously, we've got the 2 Deagles, the 2 MP9s. Let's see what they can kind of work with.
Only one player holding towards B for now. Obviously, it's not the full investment, so a bit of a gamble is going to be needed to make from Singularity anyway, and it's just Frio. Got that one smoke towards B. They're just going to be doing what he can to hold off any sort of aggression. This could be a very dangerous bracket setup. Quirts seems to have a bit of an inkling as he does just back away.
It doesn't want anything to do with brackets, especially not on his own towards Boiler. Utilt seemingly going to be coming through though, but Cloku finds the opener onto SBT. Oh, Keen with a double. They seem to line up there.
He spotted the second.
Definitely not. And now it's just going to be this B hit. Frio, lone defender.
Yeah, going to be giving up the site in favour of his life. There isn't a defuse kit. And AK has been picked up. A great spam from Frio, but doesn't take down Quirts, who just sticks the bomb, ready to die for it, but keeps himself on the edge of death. Really, 16 points of health.
Yeah, great there from FNK to keep himself alive. Keep Quirts alive there. Not only does it allow the bomb to go down, but it keeps things in their way. 4 versus 2 now, and it's just going to be a save hit. Cloaku, though, deep towards ruins. FNK, an important kill to be found. Virtuoso will find the pick there. Can retrieve the AK. Not even going to get hunted.
Anywhere near him.
Yeah.
I think they'll just be like, yep, keep yourself the AK. You're on a full buy anyway. It's not really going to matter to us unless Keen can somehow teleport through that wall and quickly kill him.
It doesn't matter. They got three players on 16k at the end of that round. 9 found here now for the Prodigies.
I mean, that's the scary thing, isn't it? Just the fact that Prodigies have been winning these rounds so dominantly that it feels like even if Singularity go on a bit of a streak of rounds, Prodigies are still going to be in a great financial situation.
Yeah, definitely. Polo getting aggressive here towards B. Nice find onto Keen. A lot of damage taken from the nades. Quirts wants to push aggressively here towards short. Does find one. Virtuoso falls and Quirts is looking for more, but Nesty right and ready for the trade as he does take him down. Shield finds Frio. 3-on-3 here with 2 players low HP for the side of Singularity. Shield switches to that AK, eliminates Nesty. We do see Cloaku falling as well, and Polo, all that remains. The one to find the opener in this round, the last alive.
Such a risky situation for FNK. I don't know if you saw it on the minimap. He was just tucked towards Broom. Somehow, one of the Singularity players walked past him. If FNK went down there, that's the bomb gone as well. It really could have been an awkward situation. FNK somehow manages to come out on top, though, and it's just Polo, 1 versus 3. Do we see a hunt here?
Yeah, but they know he's the AWPer. You know, I feel like they might as well go for a hunt. They've got nothing to lose, Charlie, remember. They've got all the money in the world. They're going to be buying until the end of the game. It doesn't really matter if they do fall. But, yeah, I feel like, you know, that play from FNK, you know, as you described, high risk, low reward. No real need to really go for that play. And I feel like it's something that we saw a little bit on Anubis. When we saw the Prodigies getting their confidence, it turned a little too complacency. It kind of, they were taking those unnecessary risks, and they certainly were getting punished. Obviously, luckily for FNK, not punished in this one, so it's not all too bad. But 10 rounds in a row on the T side, Charlie. I think this one could be over already. It's a similar situation to Anubis. It's not about whether they will win. It's just about how quickly they'll do it.
Yeah, Force Buy coming through from Singularity. The thing that really spurred them on was Virtuoso having so much money, able to drop over the AWP, but still have a little bit in reserve. P9's getting really aggressive as so much damage dealt to the Prodigy's shield and Quirts, both very low. Prodigies have no control in this one.
It's not going to be an easy round at all. Singularity need to capitalise on this, though. Need to capitalise on the initial success from Frio. Would be devastating to see them lose this one. Still the chance, though. Singularity. This round isn't guaranteed yet. Player boosted up. I believe that is Cloaku. FNK needs to be aware of this. Frio. The lower of half wall. Gets a double. 3 so far in this round. The bomb under their control. SBT does find 2. Flash not good enough, though. Frio does find his 4th in this round. But I'll be honest with you, Charlie. Frio gets a 4k. Total kills, only 5. Just goes to show that all of these Singularity players really have struggled.
I mean, you joined top of the leaderboard now, Fred.
After one
good round, yeah, it just really does show how it is a bit of a team effort from Singularity, but sadly no one on the team stepping up.
Yeah, and I think as well, you know, the Prodigy's lowest performers, both Quirts and Keen, both on 6 kills, still above the 2 top performers for Singularity. It's been a really tough game here, and not just Inferno. I feel like Anubis is a similar kind of story. Singularity never really been in control. Obviously, if they can find these final 5 rounds, there's somewhat of a chance for them, but it's going to be so tough.
Yeah, no 11-0 for the Prodigies, just 10-0. I say just 10-0, it's still 10 rounds to
yeah,
nothing.
on the T side as well.
Found their first.
As mentioned, though, really need to string these rounds together. Nesty does take out Quirts. And Cloaku in a nice position finds SBT. And it seems as though he wanted to have a little bit of a glance, bit of a repeat, but opts against it. Maybe that's the difference between these two sides.
I do think it's potentially the slightly smarter play. They've already got the man advantage. There's no need to give anything back.
Oh, nice from Cloaku. Somehow finds 2 there. 3k in this round. Frio will take the final kill. 5 surviving here for Singularity, so the money's slowly looking good. But once again, Charlie, it's a hero amongst the Singularity side. We saw a 4k from Frio in the last. 3 there from Cloaku. It seems as though they're just consistently just reliant upon one individual to step up.
Yeah, tactical timeout called now from the Prodigies. It was 2 rounds in a row. We remember what happened on Anubis. As soon as Singularity were able to string around a few rounds, they really capitalized and took them all. Prodigies are not going to want that to happen again.
I think as well, the Prodigies, they understand potentially Singularity just a bit late to get into the game. You know, they really didn't have much opportunity on Anubis. Similar kind of stories here to Inferno. But I think the Prodigies, if they allow Singularity to find these final 3 rounds, the pistol round goes their way. And kind of force buy as well. You know, we could be technically looking at 8-10 just off the back of the pistol. You know, it's not too far away. Prodigies, though, certainly going to be looking to make sure that doesn't happen. Cloaku, though, nice opener onto FNK. Double long setup here. Polo on the corner. Does find one. Nesty takes down SBT as well. Virtuoso falls. Keen has the opportunity to find Polo. Oh, nice from the AWP here. Second in the round. Shield, all that remains.
Yeah, looking so much better on the side of Singularity. 1 versus 4 for Shield. Turn to 1 versus 3. Switches to the AK. Player behind the default box to find first.
It's not going to be easy. Nesty swings on out, takes him down. Singularity find their 3rd.
Still good. I mean, it's good to see still life left in this Singularity side.
Yeah, definitely. Got the double AWP in play as well. Has been working out well. Obviously, Polo had a lot of impact in that last round. Cloaku in the round prior. Essentially the double AWP, although very costly. It's the right play for them to make, but Shield takes down Polo. Nice nade there. Quirts dropped down to 60 HP. Even while blinded, he's confident the boiler isn't a problem. Does find one. The A-bomb site, only 1 defender now.
Singularity surely going to have to try to search for something. Frio's going to be the man to do so, and timing's good, taking down FNK.
3 on 4 now. Real chance for Singularity. If they can find the next pick as well, definitely a possibility. Prodigy still...
This is the point where the Prodigies should just be grouping, getting ready for their execute.
Yeah, regardless of what bomb site they lean towards, you know, it's not going to be difficult. Even if we saw a stack from Singularity, we could just see the Prodigies take it. They've got the util advantage. They've got the numbers. They are leaning towards the right bomb site, as there is only 1 defender here, being Frio. No utility to work with. Rotations are going to be quick, but Cloaku with no flash to help out Frio. A lot of work to be done here. Finds the first, but second not on the cards, as Shield very quick on the AWP to take him down. Cloaku has rotated in, but the bomb can go down now.
Did just get punched in as Cloaku tries to deny, but gets shut down himself, and Nesty going to be keeping hold of this AK for the last round of the half.
Necessary as well. Virtuoso going to really struggle regarding economy, so a drop can come through, potentially a FAMAS. Obviously, Polo might be able to invest. Obviously, Cloaku and Frio very comfortable, so we should be seeing a buyout for Singularity, but the 11th round found here for the Prodigies.
It could be the exact same halftime finish, 11-4. It's what we saw on Anubis. Could be the same situation here. Unless the Prodigies can do one better. And I mean, the way they're playing, you really wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, definitely not. You know, they've looked brilliant in the regular season. We talk about how the regular season usually shouldn't have that much impact on playoffs. It's, you know, it's a completely different beast, these best of threes, but I feel like maybe the Prodigies are just treating these best of threes as they are, just these best of ones, just treating each map as their own, winning them very convincingly. And potentially a similar story here on Inferno.
I suppose whatever works for you in playoffs, because you're really going to need anything to go your way, and FNK opens things up onto Frio.
Yeah, running spray there. Quite unfortunate there for Frio. Quiet. Tasked with finding these players towards Apps. Does find the first and just backs away. He's ready for there to be a second. There's a player towards Car here. Cloku can't even find anything. Does deal a little bit of damage, but it's not enough. And Charlie, I think 12 is going to be on the cards. 1 versus 5 here for Virtuoso. A nade and a smoke. All that he has. So many flashbangs towards CT. And Charlie, look at Quirts. Towards T-spawn. Virtuoso never going to be ready for this. Lovely one tap to finish things off. Prodigies, 12 rounds found on the T side. They've looked brilliant in this series. And the pistol round could dictate this whole game. If the Prodigies find it already, Singularity, they're far down. It's going to be even worse for them.
I mean, not a single player on the Singularity side hitting double digits. 4 of the Prodigies doing so. 4 rounds needed, Fred. I mean, that's all. That's. I mean, you mentioned the pistol round. It feels like if the Prodigies win it,
could be all over.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think there's any chance Singularity can come back. But even if Singularity win it, even if Prodigies force by lose, Singularity will only find 3 more rounds. It will still be 12-6. It still couldn't even be more one-sided if it needed to be.
Yeah, it's really dominant here from Prodigies, and I like to see it. I hope that they continue this streak. Obviously, granted that they win this game, but I hope they continue this streak in their next playoffs games, because it really leads an exciting kind of set of Counter-Strike to be watched. FNK, lone defender here towards B, has taken some contact, going to back away towards CT. USP in hand here. Not quick enough on the trigger to find a pick as they cross. So the bomb site has been taken. Polo getting very deep, jumping in backwards. Will find 1 second falls as well. Polo getting a double. SBT and Shield both emerge from Banana and they find their picks, but Polo spamming through the smoke in CT. Enough to kind of deter the attention away. SBT now 1v3. Does find one, but Nesty trades. So the pistol round does go the way of Singularity.
Will we see that force buy from the Prodigies? In the last game, they just opted for the eco. They wanted the full buy out as quick as possible, but not the same story in this one.
Dropped Scout here for Shield.
It's just going to be keeping a bit of money in the reserve so we can get out of that AWP as soon as possible.
See what we can do with this Scout, though. Nice nade onto Shield. Bit of aggression towards middle here from the Prodigies. Scout shot just whizzing past, but Quirts does find one. Nice trade here from Frio. Nesty as well. In fact, hasn't spotted the player close towards bench. We're certainly aware of it, though. 4 on 2 now. Convincing round here from Singularity. Potentially, we will see that 12-6.
For surviving for Singularity. The interesting thing is, once Prodigies get their full buys out, what will we see Singularity opt for? Will they just stick with the Galils, the MAC-10? Or will they realise, okay, we're in such a large deficit in terms of the rounds
they have
here.
to.
Do we have to just sort of go for the AKs?
I think they've got to upgrade. I think it's too much of a risk. I feel like you see teams not opting for the upgrade when it's an even half or potentially in the lead, but when you're in such a heavy deficit, you don't really want to be leaving anything up to a MAC-10, up to a Galil. You want those AKs out as soon as you can.
Two players towards first orange. Few missed shots, but finally Frio does fall.
And the fact that's on shield as well, it means obviously that AWP can be invested quite comfortably, and similarly, even more util can be brought out. Cloku, 3 targets to find. Does get a double.
Was just the eco from the Prodigy, so already a couple of kills isn't too bad. What will they do with these weapons? Then maybe just go for exit frags, because they're going to be on a full buy next round anyway. I'm not sure how much Quirts is going to be looking to keep hold of this MP, this Mac 10, sorry.
You never know. Could get aggressive towards Banana, try and take some boiler control. I feel like the Prodigy's, you know, potentially more in a situation where they can try and utilize these weapons, but FNK, he wants some action here towards A. Spots one towards Pit. Does go down though. Quirts towards top Banana, potentially quite happy to keep this Mac in the next.
Yeah, but the question will be, will he actually be keeping hold of it? It'll feel, if he does upgrade it, it'll feel a bit pointless just going for the save then.
Surely got to be keeping it.
Yeah, decent money in the reserve.
No upgrades. No,
it does just upgrade it. So, yeah, it does have a lot of questions. And what was the point in just keeping that weapon alive? Maybe thinking there was going to be a bit of a hunt, but...
Maybe he just wanted to keep that flashbang. He knows he's going to upgrade. Wants to save $200. I doubt it, but...
Yeah, it's possible, but... Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe a few question marks. If we get the interview, I'm definitely asking that.
Why'd you keep that Mac 10? You'll just be sat there so confused.
Yeah, about 3 weeks after the game happened.
Ooh, hefty nade onto Cloku.
Yeah, a lot of return fire though. Keen brought down to 40 HP.
We do see this AWP on shield. Already we see a boost in play. Could catch off these 2 players towards B if they do go probing. This round holding a lot of importance here, though, for Singularity. They need a win. They need to start stringing some rounds together here on the C side.
They are up against the AWP of shield. And the other full buy weapons in play. Util has been heavily drained on the Singularity side. Just 2 pieces remaining on Virtuoso. That's going to make an execute very tough.
Especially if you're leaning towards the A-bomb site. I feel like not only taking the site, but also trying to kind of hold off the rotations is going to be so tough. They've got to send this smoke towards Moto, otherwise Shield is going to have a bit of a field day here. And there it is, smoke coming through now. SBT has been dinked here. Only for 76 though. SBT does find one. Trade comes through. Charlie, the bomb's not gone down yet. There's only 8 seconds remaining. It's not going to be easy. It will have time to plant though. 3 on 3 now.
Spam looks good on the King once again. No util to be able to retake this for the Prodigies. And that was their turn for a 3v3 save. No kit once again. Similar situation, Fred.
Well, yeah, I think it definitely makes sense from both sides. I feel like the Prodigy, similar to Singularity, thinking we don't have the util, we don't have a kit. They've got a lot of control here on this bomb site. We're all towards long. It's not as though they've got a lurking apps and kind of just waiting for them to swing. They had nothing really to play off, so they just go for the save. Keep these rifles and the AWP in play in the next, and hopefully they will have a little bit more impact. Obviously, weapons can be dropped from both FNK, Shield, and Keen, so we're expecting a full buy here for the Prodigies. But now it's their turn to struggle on the CT side as we see a bit of a 4-round streak here from Singularity.
Five rounds in and now between both the teams. So Singularity can still make this comeback happen and just do need to keep playing how they're playing now.
If we do see Singularity bring things back on Inferno and take it on Vertigo, what a game it will be. SBT, sadly the molly not landing, it would have been absolutely perfect. Flashbang coming over. Oh, SBT blinded. He's aware there's a player out towards short. Quirts does find one. Cloku tucked in towards default. Does find one. Second to find as well. Lovely shot there. But Shield, one with the AWP, switches to the Deagle. Surely going to fall to Polo now, but a 2 versus 2 and a possible one at that. Oh, Polo with the no-scope. Lovely stuff onto Keen. And Frio will get that final frag onto FNK. What a round there for Singularity.
That should never be happening there. Keen has that kill guaranteed. And somehow just can't connect enough bullets. That is ridiculous. If Singularity can complete this comeback, that's a round we're going to be looking at. A round that has to go the way of Singularity, but too many mistakes were made.
Yeah, whiff spray there from Keen. Devastating. I believe it was that double from Cloku on the center of the bomb site as well. Not only did he find, I believe it was Quirts on the back of the bomb site, but finding SBT and Pit as well. So impactful. Charlie, I think we
was called after that one from the Prodigies. Had a bit of time to discuss.
Charlie, I think we got a bit of a hot contest on our hands now. Singularity, I think they finally come into this series and they're looking good. They're looking confident.
Obviously, still down by 4 rounds. There isn't a chance. Cheeky boost going on towards Apps. Boosting up Keen.
Which certainly would catch out an opponent, but Singularity, they've got the read. Leaning towards B here. The only defender being FNK. Quirts has come to his aid, though. We are going to be seeing the boost coming through. See what these Jollies can do. Oh, Quirts flashes himself through. There's a player behind him, Charlie. 2, in fact, but he finds them both. FNK, Quirts with the triple. FNK finds one towards CT, and it's all on Polo. Tech 9 in hand, 1 versus 5. There's a player behind him, but he does find him as well. Can't connect the second shot. Surely going to go down. And this was the pistols, Charlie, and they made things work. But what a round from Quirts. He finds 4 there.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he pushes through the smoke, 2 players behind him. The flashbang was clearly perfect. The fact that nobody took him down. Able to turn on them. Great shots hit. The furbomb was unbelievable. And the Prodigies out of nowhere stole around.
Kind of lost for words, Charlie. Prodigies, just on the weaker weapons, they make things work. And that's something that we haven't seen from Singularity at all. It seems though when they're on these pistols, they're yet to find any signs of success. But what a round there from Prodigies. Not only have they shut down Singularity, ruined their economy, but they've got themselves ever closer to that all-important 16. Frio in a great position, takes down Quirts in the back lines. SBT has spotted him out. Lovely tap there. Keeps man advantage their way. FNK obviously being 5 HP, very low. Flashbang's looking good. Lovely from Shield. Does it in style as he hits the head of Virtuoso.
2 on 4 here. Polo with the AWP. And Nesty's falling. SBT positioning's really got him his kills in this one. And they know exactly where Polo is. Easy shot for Shield to hit.
Charlie, I think it's going to have to be an eco here for Singularity. Seems as though they thoroughly brought themselves back into this game, but all it takes, one misplayed round, one heroic play from Quirts, and things really have taken a turn for the worse here for Singularity. 14 found now, and I think it's just going to have to be an eco. Or they go for the force. They all in, Charlie. All or nothing here on round 23.
Yeah, they're not playing for the full buys. They're playing for, I mean, just to be able to win this round, it's a real risk.
They don't want to go the distance. They don't want to kind of play for OT. They want a Hail Mary.
Util coming over. This is one of the plays that they've got in the strat book that they've been saving. Bursting out towards a first player. Virtuoso falls. Second spotted, but no kill found. Switching to the Deagle Shield. He's got under so much pressure, and he falls. Quirts going to be emerging from the smoke. Finds one before going down to Frio.
And FNK brings it to the 1v1 as he finds Polo. A real opportunity here for Singularity. Obviously, they took the major risk of going for this force, but they have the advantage, but FNK steals it away, and he's playing a lovely angle. I say that, just turns away. Frio finds him. And Singularity, they keep themselves in the question, potentially the most important round of their SCL season, and they are victorious.
Great round from Singularity. They needed it. Came very close though, but obviously they've just on the weak weapons. They fully committed, fully invested. But Fred, despite winning the round, Singularity's buy is still worse than Prodigy's.
Yeah, 2 Galils, a Mac 10. Yes, they've got the AWP on Polo. Polo hasn't been performing to the standards that they are expecting and that they're really needing of him. Currently 9 to 18. Similarly, Virtuoso not having the best of games, but Quirks kicks things off nicely as he takes down Cloku. Nesty pushes through the smoke, finds SBT. So man advantage here for Singularity. We are going to be seeing FNK pushing down Banana. Polo somewhat aware of it. Takes him down with the wall bang there. I think surely we just need to see a bit of a save, but the flashbang's coming through. Frio not fully blinded, so he can take down Keen and Shield. Surely just going to retreat back towards B and keep this AWP in play in the next round. But 10th found here for Singularity. 4 rounds away from their opponents. And potentially Vertigo a little bit more kind of possible than we initially thought here.
Yeah, still all it takes is another heroic round from an individual on the Prodigy side, and it could be all said and done. Just 2 rounds needed. 1 to secure OT.
And 1 to close it out. Shield going to be operating on the AWP as well in the next, as we're expecting potentially a bit of a half bite. We saw the Prodigies win their previous half bite and it was just Deagles. Oh, in fact, we could see a full investment. Shield can drop over. If he's using the A1S, can still bring out 2 flashbangs. We can see a full bite here from the Prodigies. And there we see it. Full buy coming through.
Still a decent enough buy. Not really many limitations.
Maybe the defuse kit
you would look at as the defuse kits, yeah.
Shield could have invested in 2 flashbangs as well, but kept $400 in the bank.
Shield's getting aggressive towards mid hit. Peeking into second mid, in fact. Does back away now as nothing's really being shown to him.
FNK's so deep here towards Banana though. And Frio lining up these flashes to try and retake, but FNK does rotate.
Very passive here from Singularity in the early stages of this one.
Shield has rotated towards B now. Holding the boost. Ready for a bit of creative play from Singularity. FNK elevates himself up above on the sandbags. No flashbang from Cloku. Does go in completely kind of alone. No flash, no support. Gets taken down and FNK finds the opener. Keen going to be swinging towards middle. Not only does he catch 1 in the open, but could have found 2 as Util was in hand. Frio does aggress here towards brackets. Charlie, it's a 5 versus 3. Oh, and it makes it even harder as that's the bomb dropped. 5 on 2 now. Nesty falls. Quirts finds him. And it's all on Polo to clutch this up.
Pick up the bomb, but still 4 kills to find. Heading his way down to Banana, but FNK too deep and catches him out. 15 found. Match point and series point for the Prodigies.
Singularity, they need 5 in a row for survival. They need 5 in a row to bring it to OT just to keep themselves alive here in this series. But the Prodigies, they're looking to close things out here and now. And the buy's certainly not perfect for Singularity. We've got AKs on 4, but Cloku with just a Deagle and a Decoy. Definitely not the weapons you're going to want to be using to keep your team alive in this one. Especially as Cloku currently the top performer here for Singularity in this map.
I mean, we saw some magic with the Deagles already from Quirts in this game. Cloku gonna have to try similar things, but look how deep Polo is. He gets shot down by FNK all alone in Keen, peeking towards mid.
Oh, Charlie,
it's all unraveling. It's really falling apart for Singularity here.
Charlie, it's a 5 versus 2. Surely we're not going to be seeing a clutch come through here from Singularity. Some real heroics would have to be made here.
Both the players glued to each other, hoping if there's a swing, they can try to come out on top. But Prodigies, they've done the job now. They've got a 5-on-2. There's no need for them to swing anymore.
Charlie, are we already looking at one of our quarterfinalists here?
It certainly does feel that way, doesn't it?
55 seconds, and the answer will be ours. Singularity, do they have another chance? Or is it all over? They are heading towards the favoured bomb site as there are only 2 defenders, but certainly not 2 players I'd want to be pushing into. FNK and Quertz. They've done great so far, and it's a lovely little crossfire. Quertz towards CT. Just jiggling here. Finds the opener. FNK can swing on through as well. And FNK will go down. Quertz. Ooh, getting tagged up here through the smoke. He's just got his knife out, Charlie. What's going on? But I don't think it matters. Look at Keen rotating him fast. Shield finds him. 16-10 here for the Prodigies. And they close out the series 2-0. What a success story for them. Obviously, you know, one of the favourite teams that we were looking at beforehand. But both of those games started off so dominantly. Singularity were always on the back foot. Always trying to climb their way back into the game. But potentially it was just too poor of a performance in the initial halves. But what a game that was. What are your thoughts after it?
Yeah, I think it was such a great match between both the teams, but it did feel like Prodigy today, they just had that one up on Singularity. We saw a little bit of a comeback from them on Inferno, but it just wasn't enough. 16-10, you still look at that scoreline and think it's been pretty one-sided, and when you consider Anubis was even more favoured for them, yeah, it really was the individuals that shined through today for the Prodigies. It really feels like everybody just had their moments. SBT, somebody that had so much impact in that game, whether he was at the top of the leaderboard or not. He was certainly such a threat and really a bit of a thorn in the side of the Singularity roster. But still, obviously, that sadly is the end of Singularity's run, Fred. But I think they've got a lot of positives to look at this season. And hopefully next season they'll come back stronger.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like not only are they playing against a tough opponent, but they've got a lot to work upon. But also, I don't think they're going to be coming out of this game all too disappointed. I think it is a really tough matchup. We saw it with the Anubis pick. It's clear that they are confident in their own abilities. And I'd love to see where this team, you know, comes next season. Because, yes, their kind of time here is over in the playoffs. But I think as well, they've now got this time, they've got this off-season time where they can work upon themselves and see what they bring to Season 9. Obviously, though, for the Prodigies, a successful victory. They're going to be very happy with that result. Obviously, as we mentioned, one of the favourites here. The fact it was won in a fairly dominant fashion, you do understand, but I feel like it did just come down to the kind of the difference in the individuals. I feel like the Prodigies, everyone had their moments, everyone had their time in the limelight, and I feel like that was the real difference between the two sides. I feel like Singularity, it seemed as though there was a couple players out of it on both of the maps, and that was the real difference maker. But a great performance from the Prodigies. They're going to be very happy with that result, heading into the quarterfinals game with a lot of confidence as well. But that kind of has been it. That's been it from us. You know, a quick 2-0. It was a great game to watch. Hopefully the Prodigies can bring this kind of level of confidence and the ability that they showed today in their next game. So make sure you guys do drop a follow on the Twitch and also the Twitter so you guys get those updates about how the bracket's going so far. But that's been it from us. A great night of CS and plenty more CS to be